What's going on, everybody? This is Little Pit Patriot, and I'm super excited to welcome you to my vlog channel. So, I don't even know what to say. 2022 is right around the corner. And how I see it is you have two choices of looking at this. One, you can view it as a hurdle, an obstacle, something that it's a halting point. We don't need to do anything, and we can just wait for the ball to drop in New York City, and that's magically going to make all of our dreams and wishes come true. Or on the other hand, how I like to look at it is an opportunity. So 3 months is a solid amount of time to make moves on your goals, the things that you want to do. So spoiler alert, launching my YouTube channel was one of mine. So I'm here to just kind of talk about what got me to this point, how I, foresee 2022 and how I'm kind of planning that out for myself. So I would say that, that first step is just being honest with yourself with your goals. Do you even have any? Do you know how to figure out what your goals are, your strengths, your weaknesses? Have you written this out yet? Do you know, what you're trying to do? So let me just backtrack and say for 2021, I had a couple of goals. One, I wanted to get to 20K on Instagram, whatever that means. Now my, goals are a little bit more broad, not so much like, a number. But I wanted to do that, and I did. And I also wanted to step on stage for a bikini competition, which I also did. So I would say identify what those goals are first. And so whether that's you want to train your dog, you want to step on stage, you want to grow your social media, whether that's TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is, identify those things and realize that the time is now. There is no magical sign that's going to show. There is no person that's going to tell you that you're ready. It's literally up to you. Okay. So that is the first step. Identify those goals. And then what do we do from there? Okay. I want, I've identified X, Y, and Z. This is what I want. So what do we do from there? We plan. There is rarely any amazing execution that didn't have proper intentional planning behind it. So how do we get to that point of planning? What exactly do we have to do to plan appropriately for our goals? So how I've always done it, how I think of with the military and my civilian life now is you have to think about the steps it takes. Write out those specific goals and then backwards plan from there. So what are the steps you have to take to get to that thing? Okay. The 5 W's. What do you have to do? How are you going to do it? Who do you need to network with? Who do you need to talk to? Sometimes we don't give enough credit to just normal people out there. We think everyone's celebrities now that Instagram and TikTok make people, blow them out of proportion, that they're no longer normal people anymore. You'd be surprised at how many people reach back and how many people I've even reached out to just asking questions about what they've done or, what their suggestions are, what my page looks like to them. They just ask whatever, you never know unless you ask. The answer is always no if you don't ask. And that's just how it's going to be. So figure out how to network, who you need to network with, what do you need to do, and how are you going to get to these goals? For me, obviously I said, I wanted to launch YouTube. So what does that mean for 2022? I have to be consistent with it. Consistency is so key in every area of your life. It doesn't matter if it's social media, if it's YouTube, if it's Instagram, it's literally everything. If I want to lose weight or gain muscle or continue to step on stage forever, I have to be consistent with my training and my nutrition and, how I treat my body, recovery, training your dog. You need to be consistent. Your dog is not going to learn to sit. If you tried one day, he learned to sit and then you just never do it again. It's literally the same thing, all aspects of your life, consistency. And you need to be dedicated to this. You need to absolutely buy into yourself and your end state and stick by it and do everything that you can to make it happen. And so that kind of leads me into the next thing, which is time. Time is the one excuse that every single person universally will always say is the thing that is stopping them from achieving their higher self, from reaching the goals we're talking about. And unfortunately, that's not always the truth. How many times have you found yourself being able to watch movies or, twiddling your thumbs or just laying in bed, thinking about the things you should be doing, but you're not actually doing them? We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. There are times when I'm watching a movie that I'm just trying to put off whatever I have to do, but I just want to relax. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with relaxing and just being a normal human. But when it comes to wanting to be this, I don't want to say an overachiever, but if you're trying to achieve these big goals, you do need to sacrifice some of the luxury of just chilling to, curate and plan out what you're trying to do. Especially if you have an entrepreneurial, side of you. If you're trying to build something, if you're trying to get out of your job, if you're trying to make an impact or inspire, educate, entertain people, that is so important that you step outside of your comfort zone. You sacrifice some time that you're saying you don't have, and you provide value in some way. So how I've done this is I literally look at my schedule in a day and I just write it out. Okay, at this time I wake up, this time, I need to be at the gym or daycare. This is when I get home. This is when I go to the gym the second time. Like, I list out all my time hacks. And then I find out within those 24 hours in a day, when am I not working, sleeping, doing something that, that's my productive time. That is my white space where I can fill in something, like where I can be productive in a different way. We all have the exact same 24 hours in a day. We all just use them differently. So that's incredibly important to just write it out, figure out where we can fit these things in, and make our goals come to life. So with my background, I'm a single parent. I work full time. I'm training for my second competition, which, it's something you really have to dedicate time to. You have to train, you have to eat right, you have to meal prep, you have to pose, you have to, all these different things to prepare. Like, unless you're just trying to step on stage, I can't even talk. Unless you're just trying to step on stage just to step on stage, it's so important to just think, we don't all come from the same background. We don't all have the same story, but we all have the same 24 hours. So how are you using them? And I'm gonna ask that again. And the thing is, just take a piece of paper, take the time. Literally, I have a notebook where I put everything down into it. I write out my routine. I write out my budget. I write out my shopping list, the things I want to do. Every goal I have, every idea I have is in this notebook, or a notebook. I have many notebooks, but there is so much power in just writing these things out and having them come to life. It's about putting action behind the words, whether you say them or you do them. Not say them or do them. Say them or write them. You need to do them. Nothing, words mean nothing unless there's action behind it. And I'm a firm believer in that. And, I've talked on many podcasts about this same concept of, so many people out there talk this big game about, something's coming, don't sleep on me, and this and that or the other, but then nothing happens. So it's not about, necessarily talking a big game. It's about just taking these little steps towards your goals, doing these little things, taking the risks, and not caring so much about the judgment piece. Which kind of leads me to my next point, which is just take micro steps. That's step number 4. Take micro steps towards your goals. 3 months, again, is a long time. You can take these steps. Once you've identified your goals, you've planned it out, you've realized where you have white space to start working. This is where you start taking these steps. You figure out what do you need to do? Who do you need to talk to? The stuff you figured out in the planning phase. Now you know where you can within your routine, your daily routine. Now it's time to put action behind these words. Action behind these ideas, bring them to life. You need to manifest these things into existence. That is so incredibly important. Nothing is anything unless you believe in it just as much as, you believe in anything. So you need to believe in your own goals, and you need to put action. You need to do it. You need to take the risks. And like I was saying, the fear of judgment is so real, and that's such a common fear for so many people not to do so many things. Like when it comes to social media, talking like this now, this could get 2 views, and I have to be like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I want to provide value to other people, and I'm doing this because I freaking can. There's literally nothing stopping me. I have this cool setup, which, my friends helped me with the lights, which is pretty awesome, because I was like, oh my God, I have all these lights and I have no idea where they need to be pointing. Again, that's the network piece. That's the planning. I had to have this set up prior to me being able to launch this, because if I did this, I'd probably be sitting in the dark right now with a flashlight, okay guys, here we go. Vlog number 1, and it'd be super rough, which is okay. I'm still putting it out there, but my planning led me to this point. So micro steps, how do we take these micro steps? Risk taking. So when we talk about micro steps, usually we run into, the budgetary thing. How much money we have. We don't have money to achieve these goals or these things we want to do. And, I can't say that that's not something that I, didn't think of. That was literally me. And, sitting here with like this setup that I use for my podcast, now I'm using it for my YouTube channel. I didn't think I was ever going to have money for something like that, for like this. Money is always something like, we need money to live. We need money to do things. It's a very real thing. And I don't want to call it an excuse because, finances are a serious thing for a lot of people. And the thing is now I'm finally in a place where, I don't have to worry about every single penny and where it's been or, where I'm going to get it from next. And that came from looking at my budget. And so I'm throwing that into this planning phase. I'm throwing that into this entire plan going into 22 is look at your budget. Nowadays, there are so many options and things we can do for all these subscriptions we have, whether it's, Hulu or Netflix or, all these different apps we have on our phones. There's so many subscriptions that we don't actually use or need that we can just get rid of. So sit down and look at your budget. So when you're making out your routine, you're looking at your plan, your budget needs to be a part of that too. Let me just take a sip real quick. I'm getting a little parched. But it's something very real. As a single parent, that's a terrifying thing to think that you're not going to have money to put food on your table, clothes on your child, give them toys or her, because you want them to live a good life too. At least, a good parent wants their child to live a better life than they did. Look at your budget. Do yourself a favor. There are a lot of things like I don't have Netflix. I don't have Hulu. I don't have any of those things. And I'm not saying you can't, use someone else's password. I don't know. But it's just one of those things that, we have control over. So think about the things that you have control over in your life and the things that you don't, like, certain circumstances, I'm a single parent. I can't just unbecome a single parent. Like that's out of my control. So that is a part of my life that works into everything that I'm doing. Like literally I'm filming this and I'm having to stop it multiple times because my child's screaming, and it's not like a bad screaming. It's like, where do I find a cup? I am recording a video. I'm not picking up a cup for you. This dude's been living here how long and alive how long, and he doesn't know how to find a cup. I swear as soon as I'm doing something, that's when he needs me. So I'm just saying, our lives are crazy. Our budgets are tight. But we make it work. If it's something that you want to do, you're going to find a way. If not, you're going to find an excuse. So let's not be the excuse makers. Let's be risk takers. That should be a shirt. But on the reels, I really do believe in that. So once you've started taking your micro steps, think it's 90 days. It's not only 90 days. 90 days is a long time. That is so much time. It's so much opportunity that you can grow something. You're planting seeds that are going to blossom in 2022. Think of it that way. You are planting these seeds and they are going to grow when you water it, when you nurture it, when you research it and you do everything you can and you make it your own. And you're so passionate about this that you are going to make it come to life. And that is what I'm trying to tell you. I want so many people to find success. That is my favorite sport, to see other people succeed. And some of us are, I don't want to say stuck in a job or a career. I don't hate my job. I love the people I work with. I love the customers I have. But it is difficult to have a full-time job where I'm in one location and I'm trying to do this stuff on the side. It's literally the evening on a weekend. And that's when I have time to do stuff. The evenings, when I've already worked out, when I've worked all day, when I've done all this stuff. And now I'm time for another cup of coffee and let's get after it, because this is the stuff I'm passionate about. This is why I feel like I've been brought here to talk to people. When I was younger, there's a lot of things I wanted to be when I grew up. So they evolved over time. It started with being a bus driver. Probably because I loved my bus driver. I don't know. She was cool. to a dolphin trainer. And then when I got a little bit older, I was like, I really want to be a motivational speaker. I really want to talk to people. But then I never really took action on that as a younger kid because I thought that was just like how do you be a motivational speaker? Now you see that all the time, like literally everywhere. And I hadn't really thought about that until recently when I started talking more on my stories on Instagram, when I started doing lives, when I did podcasting, and now that I'm YouTubing, I'm like, this is really going into like what I wanted to be when I was younger, just to motivate, to be there for people, to support, to provide value, to speak to mass amounts of people. Even if it's like 5 people that listen to this, that's amazing to me. That's 5 people that are interested in the words coming out of my mouth. That like blows my mind. I'm about to hit my microphone stand off because that's how passionate I am about this. So sometimes you have to go back to your roots too. And I would say maybe in your planning phase, in your steps, like go back to like what shaped you growing up. For me, some of that was music. I grew up very surrounded by church and family and a lot of volunteer work. We didn't grow up with a lot, but my family really instilled in me to always volunteer, to do things for people that had less. Even if we didn't have a lot or anything at all, we gave our time. Time is so precious. It is the most precious currency that we have. And I owe a lot of who I am to that, to how I grew up, as well as I would say the military too, because you meet people from all walks of life. You have to solve problems for these people. In the military, I mean, I had so many different issues I had to deal with other people, but it, shaped me as a person to be able to be there as, a guiding person to help them through their financial struggles, their marital problems, their relationship issues, drug issues, alcohol issues. I mean, you're there for people. And that's absolutely what I love, to be there for people. Hey, Mo, you want to say hi? You're dressed like you're leaving somewhere. Are you going somewhere? No. Why you want to say hi?
I don't see one.
It's because it's the camera right there. You have to go in front of the camera. Okay, bye. Can you close the door, please? You can't see it. It's on this side, Mo. It's flipped. Oh, yep. There he is. Say Mo. Hi, Mo. Okay. All right.
Hi, Mommy.
Hey, buddy. So I'm going to ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
So when you think about what you want to be when you grow up, or the things that you want to do, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Build pipes.
You want to build pipes? That's not what you want to do.
Yes.
What do you actually want to do? If you could do anything in the world, what would it be?
Mommy.
What?
Can we just switch?
No. Well, say you wanted to be like a race car driver, a superhero, or a firefighter or something like that. What do you think? What would you do to get to that point? How do you take steps to do that? What do you think you have to do if you wanted to be a superhero? Like, what do you have to do to prepare for that? How do you prepare to be a superhero?
You save people and save them from falling from things.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. So.
Yeah, and people from dying or stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably helpful.
Or like a cannonball and then you use your laser eyes.
Cannonball and then you use your laser eyes.
Subscribe, and what you're waiting for, do it now.
Do it now. That's what he said.
Yeah, do it now or otherwise you miss the channel. Don't miss the channel. You have to subscribe right now.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a little Mo Diddley on the mic right now. We were just talking about,
That's what I'm talking about.
That is what we are talking about.
Yeah, subscribe for the channel.
Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I can't even say notification. Follow me on Instagram, Little Fit Patriot. We are out. It's time to put this dude to bed. Me to bed too, I hope. But I appreciate you guys. Love and peace. Execute your goals.